Ei, você que tá aí curtindo esse podcast, você tem caspa? Ah, então nem precisa mais ficar com vergonha. Chegou a nova linha Dercos Anti-Caspa DS da Vichy. Ela elimina 100% da caspa visível, sem ressecar os cabelos. E para todos os tipos de cabelo, seco, normal ou oleoso. Dá até pra usar blusa preta. Não é à toa que a Dercos Anti-Caspa é a marca mais recomendada por dermatologistas no Brasil e no mundo. Saiba mais.
Hi, this is Rob Benedict.
And I am Richard Spate. We were both on a little show you might know called Supernatural.
It had a pretty good run, 15 seasons, 327 episodes.
And though we have seen, of course, every episode many times, we figured, hey, now that we're wrapped, let's watch it all again.
And we can't do that alone. So we're inviting the cast and crew that made the show along for the ride. We've got writers, producers, composers, directors, and we'll of course have some actors on as well, including some certain guys that played some certain pretty iconic brothers.
It was kind of a little bit of a left field choice in the best way possible.
The note from Kripke was, he's great, we love him, but we're looking for like a really intelligent Duchovny type.
With 15 seasons to explore, it's going to be the road trip of several lifetimes. So please join us and subscribe to Supernatural then and now.
It brings me so much pleasure to once again say, hey, everybody.
Oh, hey, Jenny.
We're back.
We are back. It is, it's not season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. It is season 7. And if you know the show, you know there are but 7 seasons in it. So here we are, starting the end. Dun, da, da, da,
Wow.
Wow, wow, wow. We have some exciting news.
Do you want to go to prom?
Yeah, you know what, Jenny? I would love to go to prom, but could you just tell me where? I know we're having a prom. It's in March, I think the 11th and the 12th, but where do I go if I want to go to prom? Where is it being held, Jenny?
We're throwing prom at, and I can't stress this enough, Sunnydale High School.
Yeah, it's bananas. No one understands it, including your 2 hosts. But we rented Torrance High School out. Not the whole high school. That would be a lot of space. But we rented the theater and the courtyard space. Yeah, the one with the fountain. The one with the fountain.
Right. And the stairs that you'll recognize.
But you will not
Cordelia
climb
walk down
up
those
because
stairs.
of safety. We rented out Torrance High School to have a 2-night prom. Torrance High School, a.k.a. Sunnydale High School. It is, it's unbelievable. Truly. I mean, we did it and we still don't believe it.
It's true.
We sold out. We announced on Halloween, we sold out of the advanced ticket bundles. We, of course, saved some for public sale. So if you want a ticket, and I cannot stress this enough, if you want a ticket to attend in person, I highly, highly recommend you show up at bufferingthevampireslayer.com/prom on November 5th, a.k.a. this Friday, at 10 a.m. Eastern, which is when we're releasing the remaining ticket bundles. Okay? Okay. March 11th, March 12th, March 11th, we're doing a live taping. And March 12th, we are dancing the night away around the iconic Sunnydale High School fountain.
Huzzah!
Wow. Also exciting stuff. Jenny and I are going to be in the same dang space, the same room on November 13th. As a matter of fact, the room that I'm sitting in right now, Jenny will be here inside of this room with me, and we will be doing a virtual live taping of season 7, episode 3, same time, same place. Get it? Because we're going to be in the same place at the same time. You can get tickets to that no matter where you live in the universe with no travel required at momenthouse.com/buffering the vampire slayer. Yeah, universe. I bet you could watch it in space. Also, for those of you who can't make it on the 13th of November, precisely at 5 p.m. Eastern, the live recording will be available for 7 days on video on demand for you. We're also doing a little after party. Jenny, you going to play some music?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to play some music.
Well, you'll be in the same room with me, so would you like me to play a couple notes on the old Glock?
That would be helpful, actually.
Cool. You can learn all about this and snag your little tickets. Again, momenthouse.com/buffering the Vampire Slayer. All details are on our website, as always.
In the merchandise landscape, I need to tell you some things. We have some new products in the store to celebrate being back with season 7. We have a beautiful poster designed by the one and only Diana Kresge, featuring Frank, Sam, and Gus, in addition to me and Kristen. Really,
Whatever.
Not the headliners in that lineup. And we have a beautiful, magical new trio of handmade candles by Solus Illuminatum with designs by Isabella Rotman. The 3 new candle designs that we are introducing each highlight a different aspect of Willow. Vampire Willow, Nerd Willow, and Dark Willow. You're welcome in advance.
Yeah, they're gorgeous. And also, we were so obsessed. I mean, we're obsessed with all 3 of the designs, but we were so obsessed with the Vampire Willow design, which says kinda gay, that we also took that design and put it on a long sleeve t-shirt, also up in the store. The long sleeve t-shirt and the poster are also up in the UK store, bufferingthevampireslayer.com/shop.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. The results of the Season 6 Sexual Tension Awards Bracket Showdown, created and managed by our beloved Emily McLongstreet. Drumroll, please. In third place, your very own Kristin Russo and Anya on roller skates.
Take
those noms and stick them in your third slot.
I've been holding on
please.
to Anya very tightly so she doesn't fall off the platform on her roller skates.
In second place, the thruple to end and level all thruples. It's Buffy, Spike, and the Walls, R.I.P. Fucking down the house. And in first place, it had to be you. It had to be all of us and Giles and all of us. Number 1 slot for all of season 6 Sexual Tension. It's just so beautiful to see a whole season's worth of work and sweat and electrically charged air between entities, really come to a head.
A head, you said, like a Anthony Stewart head. All right, we're out of here so that you can hear us talk about the thing you came to hear us talk about, which is season 7, episode 1 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer Lessons. This is the point in the intro where I usually read an email from you. So this is your reminder that you can send us an email at bufferingthevampireslayer@gmail.com, and perhaps you will hear it up here at the top. Also, speaking of tops, Angel on Top's season premiere is next week, November 10th, and you will see that episode in this feed as your reminder that they are moving into their own feed. So we will have all the details for you where you go to subscribe to make sure you don't miss a single episode. Next week when they return, you'll hear that premiere here, and then you will be able to listen to seasons 1 through 3 all in the same place for the first time and begin your journey with Morgan and LaToya for season 4.
Yay!
All right, let's get to it.
Indeed. Hello and welcome to Buffering the Vampire Slayer, a podcast where we are watching and discussing every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer one by one, spoiler-free, in tandem with my beloveds over on Angel on Top. I'm Jenny Owen Youngs.
And I'm Kristin Russo, and this week we're back alongside Sunnydale High School. We are back with Season 7, Episode 1, Lessons. You should stay tuned at the end of this podcast every other week for an original song written by Jenny, sometimes with my help, recapping the Buffy episode we are discussing.
Good people of the buffering verse, let me tell you that Lessons was written by Joss Whedon, directed by David Solomon, and originally aired on September 24th, 2002.
How many days before?
But a month and 29 days. I don't know, a little under 2 months. Just under 2 months till my birthday.
Can someone please make a Jenny's birthday calculator for us at this point? There should just
surely
be an app
somebody out there could, just program something
where you just type in the date and then it tells you how far away you were from which birthday of Jenny's. I think
that
we
would
all deserve
help.
that.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, this is the one where Dawn starts school at the newly rebuilt Sunnydale High while Buffy patrols the new campus on the lookout for anything out of the ordinary, and for good reason. Dead people hunt Dawn and Buffy. Spike reappears, and there's a new principal at school. High-pitched whistle that I can't do because I don't know how to whistle. Thank you. In England, Giles rides a horse. Just kidding, it doesn't say that. In England, Giles helps Willow to learn to control her power and begin to forgive herself for her actions in Sunnydale. Jenny, I feel nervous. Like I have like nervous energy. It feels
about
like such a
recording the pod. You're stressed out.
Like, it just feels like such a big. It just feels like a big deal. I like.
We're standing at the yawning maw, gazing out into the abyss at that which awaits us.
Oh, just I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, it's this episode. Generally speaking, this episode brings me a lot of feeling. I'm sure that is wrapped up in the fact that it is also the season premiere of our final season of this journey. But even apart, it's like it really hits the nail on the head of bring it all back around again, like in so many ways, which obviously we'll talk about in detail. But I think it's really brilliantly done, this episode, in that calling back to where we began.
Yeah, it's pretty intense.
It's pretty intense. I took a lot of notes, so buckle up.
Yeah, me
buckle
too.
in. Put your helmets on.
First, before we can go to Sunnydale,
oh God,
Kristen, we have to go to Istanbul, not Constantinople, but Istanbul.
Any person who is our age can only think if you hear the word Istanbul and were ever a fan of They Might Be Giants, you hear Istanbul and you just think not Constantinople. I thought the same thing.
What's wild is that actually, I recently learned through my coverage over on Veronica Mars Investigations that Istanbul, not Constantinople, was originally released in 1953 by the Four Lads in a swing style.
Oh my God, so that was a cover?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit!
My mind was blown, and now yours can be too.
Oh my God, and never did I know. Especially because like the lyrics in that song are so in line with like the lyrical stylings of They Might Be Giants.
Totally. It was a novelty song, so there you go.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
And it was written on the 500th anniversary of the fall of Constantinople to the Ottomans.
Unbelievable. Do you know that I saw They Might Be Giants in concert?
Wow.
Well, I tell you, not just because I'm excited that I got to see them in concert. This was in the year, I would say 1994, but because they were co-headlining with the Violent Femmes, and it was probably one of the coolest shows that I've ever gone to. So there you have it.
All right.
Anyway, yes, we start in Istanbul. Notes from me, notes from Jenny, notes from Mac, notes from Alba, that we enter with this stereotypical Middle Eastern music. Why?
Yeah, they went to the catch-all general Middle East. This one will take care of everything music section of what they had available.
But Mac's note to us, honestly, like hit me the hardest, which is like, why don't we ever hear contemporary Turkish or Egyptian music? It's like,
no, because it's an ancient land,
right? Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like satirically, that is exactly what it all leads back to. Is like, if we're always imagining that places that are not the United States of America are far away and rooted in the past, then that is the music we would choose to accompany this Istanbul scene. And hey, it's almost like we're in fucking Scream, the movie, because we've got a bunch of ghost faces running after this girl. And this is a great, and there are several cinematography moments, several camera stylings. Listen.
Yep, keep going.
There are just several shots in this episode that it make it clear that they're pulling out all the punches to let you know that this is serious.
Pulling out all the stops.
Shut up, Jenny. Just let me be, okay? Everybody likes me.
I'm just trying to help.
This way.
We're here to communicate, and I'm just trying to supplement what you're offering.
And you know what's so great is that no matter how much I learn, I forget it all. So it doesn't even, it's not even like I'm progressing in any way that will make me less of myself. So anyway, up the drain pipe, this girl climbs, and the hooded dudes catch her, throw her off the roof.
I hate this.
We assume stab her. I mean, listen, as a horror movie person, I don't see the knife go into the body. So
traditionally, you can't believe it unless you see it or a body.
But we are led to believe that perhaps this girl has been killed.
I myself, having recently just had to replace the roof of my house, was watching this scene like, oh, what's that interesting
the pipe
sticking out of the roof? Is that venting? I have one of those. What purpose does it serve? This requires more
this is a harbinger
research.
of us slowly losing the interest of our audience as we get more aged and talk about roof tiles.
Yep.
So we cut. It's a really nice quick cut. It's sort of like you see the knife slam down, and like I said, you don't see it go in anywhere, but you do see a vampire pop up at the moment that you would have seen the knife hit her body. And we are in this beautiful, I fucking love this. We didn't talk about the previously ons because nobody wants to remember most of the things
oh my God.
Were in the previously ons.
Yeah. Previously on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you hated this. It was terrible.
It's gone now.
It's in the past, but we're going to remind you.
But the scene that the moment, the clip in the previously on that's connected to this is that we get a little snippet from the finale where Buffy is sort of seeing Dawn and saying, you know what, you can be a grown up, essentially. Like I've missed it. I haven't been like really seeing you clearly. And so it's really nice that we essentially begin our moment in Sunnydale with Buffy training Dawn, who is kicking ass all over. This entire episode, I'm just going to keep talking about how much ass Dawn Summers kicks. And it starts
She's doing
here.
great. It starts here. Important to note that Buffy begins her little motivational speech by inquiring who's got the power.
Mm-hmm. Power of the babe with the power. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. And Dawn makes a reference we can all appreciate as viewers of the show about how all vampires seem to inevitably pick up martial arts skills.
Yeah.
There's a delightful little bit about Buffy calling Dawn a little girl, Dawn saying I'm a woman, Buffy calling her a little woman. It's cute.
It is cute. I gave it an LOL.
And class is in session, but class is delayed because this vampire's foot is caught on a root, and he was just wondering if he could get some help. I love that you can kind of see Buffy allegedly picks him up by the collar and lifts him out of the grave, but you can very much see the bar mechanism behind his shoulders, that, you know, a harness and a chain
momentarily looks like he's a quarterback, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But it's good.
Yeah, and, you know, Buffy is trying to explain to Dawn that, like, the answer to this, who has the power, it's about power, and who has it, he has the power. The vampire has the power. Don't ever forget that. The stake is not your power. You have to remember that he has the power in order for you to kick his ass.
Mm-hmm.
Just an important thing for you to write in your Shanshu prophecies. It might be confusing in the Shanshu prophecies since those are mostly about the show Angel, but, you know, just put it there.
Mm-hmm.
So Dawn, like I said, she like fucking throws this. She sort of ducks, and as she says later, uses the vampire's own body weight to like fucking careen him into the headstone, and she's doing great. But then, you know, the vamp gets her because she misses his heart and has her in a chokehold sort of situation, and she screams Buffy, and Buffy really waits to the last fucking second here, and gets him off, and they have this amazing fight. Incredible fight choreography. Jenny, were you like super WWE buckled in for this shit?
I really, really liked in this fight sequence. I really love the ground level face kick cam.
Me too.
Made my heart sing.
Yeah. It's I mean, like I said, it's fucking season premiere. Final season. Let's do this shit, said everyone on the production team.
Let us, please.
Yeah.
Speaking of my heart and the vampire's heart and all of that stuff, have we, in the long run of our podcast, ever talked about / put a call out to, I'm sure, what must be our vast cardiologist listenership? Where's the human heart? I'm looking at pictures on the internet right now. You know? Some of them are like, it's plumb in the middle, Jenny. And some of them are like, it's a little to the left. And then some of them are like, it's a little more to the left than you thought, friend. So where is the heart? Please tell us.
To the left. That's where your heart is, in the chest, in your left chest.
It's like a lot of the imagery, it looks like the heart is sort of like attached in the center, but shaped in such a way that it like
leans left.
Has a little point out to the left
what
side.
What is your podcast? Well, we're a medical
Welcome
podcast.
to our podcast.
We talk about anatomy. Well, I just assumed that it was to the left because if you're having a heart attack, it's your left arm that like you feel the stuff in. I know this because I am acutely aware of all of the signals that I should be aware of to signal my imminent demise.
Okay.
As an anxious person.
Well, if you're listening to this podcast and you know more about the precise location of the human heart than we do,
literally
which is
everyone,
fairly likely,
every single listener,
do write in at bufferingthevampireslayer@gmail.com and let us know. Thanks so much.
And it doesn't matter where this guy's heart is because Buffy decides, she's like, you know what? It's fucking season premiere. It's my last fucking season. Fuck a steak. I'm going to behead this motherfucker. Hot shit. We don't see that. We've gotten, what, 3 beheadings of vamp? I mean, I don't know. You probably know. If you know how many vamps have been beheaded, please write in at bufferingthevampireslayer@gmail.com. But not a lot.
Yeah, this is exciting. It's satisfying. Is this an okay time to mention that the mix of this episode is very weird? The music in this scene seems quite low to me. The dialogue when we go to England is like all over the place. I realize it's harder when you're outside to obviously manage sound capturing, but like it just seems like things are kind of all over the place. I was wondering if anybody else noticed that.
I have. I mean, this is technically probably our job to have done this research, but you're also good at it. So I have questions generally about this season because I'm, almost done watching through the whole season in prep for starting here. And like audio wise and also in later episodes visually, like it almost seems like this season was like not redone completely for digital streaming or something. I don't know. It feels a bit off. So if you know more about that, let us know. Dawn has two little pokes in her neck where the vampire just got just a tiny little taste of Dawn blood. And this is what I'm saying. This girl, she's got quips. She's got kicks. She's got it all. She said, I had a plan, Buffy. I was going to get bit, come back as a vampire, and then bite you. Like, not at all scarred by the experience, ready to joke, ready to tumble. This is a Summers
she's
girl.
a Summers, yeah. And they're like, oh, yes, well, vampires, that's a walk in the park compared to the ominous thing in your immediate future. It's so scary. Cut to a huge pair of scissors poised to cut a very shiny ribbon held by the most beautiful man that has ever appeared in Sunnydale. Our Angel and Spike, hot guys with personalities and character development that we have already experienced that have made them perhaps even more attractive. Yes, totally. But is Principal Robin Wood objectively, hands down, the most beautiful man that has ever walked onto this set? 1,000 times yes.
Yes.
I'm so happy to see him.
I am so happy to see him as well. We've got our third principal, Principal Wood, played by DB Woodside. Cannot wait to talk about him in this episode, and if we're lucky, several more.
Perhaps more, yeah. And what's that ribbon in front of that he's cutting? Why, it's the brand new, freshly rebuilt in the exact same place for some reason, Sunnydale High School.
The new Sunnydale High School, in case you're curious, is of course not Torrance High School. We know it's not the original, and it's actually filmed at California State University, which is in Northridge, California.
All right.
So that's where we are. And we go to our credits. Some new stuff in the credits. You got any faves? Got any favorite new credit snips, Jenny?
I can't remember if Anya on roller skates was already in the credits or if it was already just playing in my mind on repeat.
I know. That's my favorite new thing. And I panicked about that and the mummy hand. I was like, ooh, the mummy hand. Ooh, Anya on skates. Wait, were those in the 5th season? Kristen, you could go back and look, but why bother?
Basically, just the thing I'm happiest to see in the credits, whether it's old or new.
Yeah, I know that there's a fucking demon in the credits that we haven't met yet, and I know I don't like his addition to the credits whatsoever. We get Dawn and the sword from the finale of the last episode, some new Spike, some different Buffy shit, and something that I found very fascinating that we can talk about because it is in this episode is that the hero shot. So last season, we talked about the hero shot, and a lot of you wrote in and said that actually isn't Buffy. It's the Buffy bot. In season 6, the hero shot we get from the season is the Buffy bot. And this is not Buffy either. It's Buffy. And we see this. We'll talk about it when we get there, but we see this transformation at the end of like all the villains, and then this whatever this is transforms into Buffy. That's the Buffy that the hero shot is from.
God.
So like, just saying, it's interesting to me that. I don't think it's a spoiler to suggest that this morphing evil that morphs into Buffy is not actually Buffy. And that means that there's only 5 seasons worth of Buffy Summers hero shots, and the final 2 are Buffy adjacent.
It's very interesting. Sharp eye.
Thank you.
Oh, let me take you away to a magical land populated solely with horse daddies.
I scream. I cannot stop screaming. All caps.
Okay. You think you're screaming now. I gotta tell you something.
Fine. But can we just say the words Giles is on a horse in a field wearing a long coat?
Or a long horse riding coat, I assume.
Oh my God.
When you were younger, you were real bad. But now you're older, you've got glasses that help you watch over us. Thank you, Giles.
Okay, Kristen, would it sweeten the pot for you if I told you that horse belongs to Anthony Stewart Head, and his name is Otto?
Oh, no. Get out of here.
And then...
Oh, God.
What if I also told you that house they're shooting in and around, that's Tony Head's house in England. He was like, I'll do another episode of your little show.
You come here.
But bring literally everything to me.
Wow. I had somewhere in the corners of my brain, I did know that was Tony Head's house, or something that was near to or related to Tony Head, but I did not know that horse's name was Otto, nor did I know that it was his horse. I can't stand it. I can't even stand to see this man just fucking casually riding a fucking horse. We're in Westbury, England.
Clip, clop, clip, clop, clip, clop.
Oh,
it's unbelievable.
Soft padding of okay. Willow is by a tree. She's sitting here. We learn that she is with Giles and the Coven, essentially being rehabilitated from all of the events that transpired in season 6. I have more to say about that, but we should talk about the minutia, which is that Willow pulls a flower up out of the earth. And we kind of, through this, learn about what she's been learning in her lessons. Title of the episode.
That plant doesn't belong there. That plant is not native to English soil. She has enticed it all the way from Paraguay.
Yeah.
Because everything's all connected.
Right.
And that's just one of the many things she's been learning here.
Yeah, everything's all connected, the molecules, etc. And we also learn a very important fact, which is the one subject that Giles is not knowledgeable in is synchronized swimming. Makes no sense to him. Can't figure it out.
I'm with you, Giles.
So Giles is talking to Willow about all the things that have happened. And she basically says, like, I wish rather than like teaching me how to use this power, I wish you'd just take it away from me. And Giles is like, well, we can't. Interestingly saying, this isn't a hobby or an addiction.
Oh my God.
What? Skirk!
The magic is inside you now, further confusing the metaphor.
Just help. But
magic is whatever we need it to be.
They're like, boy, that metaphor got messy. Let's just undo it.
Start over. Beep, reset.
And then let's hear the sound clip of Willow talking to Giles at the end of this scene.
I kill people, Giles.
I've not forgotten.
When you brought me here, I thought it was to kill me. Or to lock me in some mystical dungeon for all eternity or with the torture. Instead, you go all Dumbledore on me. Learning about magic, all about energy and Gaia and root systems.
Do you want to be punished?
I want to be Willow.
You are. In the end, we all are who we are. No matter how much we may appear to have changed.
Okay. So let's talk about Faith Lehane for a fucking second here.
I'm always ready to talk about Faith Lehane for any number of seconds.
Well, without getting too deep into it, because this is a big episode, but let's just fucking talk about the fact that Willow has killed a person, some people, probably more than one person. What is Rack? No one ever knows.
We don't know if Rack qualifies as a person by the universe rules, but Willow got dark and she almost destroyed the entire
whole
world, actually.
Whole world. She says, I thought you were going to bring me here to essentially put me in prison. Oh, yeah. That's interesting because I think
like, no. We just do that to Faith. That's she's the only one.
Okay, so let's just put a pin in that shit. That Faith Lehane, having literally accidentally killed Alan, and then
she went to work for the evil mayor. But
sure, but she was struggling.
She was having a hard time
inside of her.
She was living in the Sunnydale Roach Motel while the Summers house had a sprawling guest room,
given no space, given very little encouragement, attacked by her own girlfriend. You know what I mean? And then she fucking put herself in jail because there was that's what she fuck everything. And I just want to say that like it is nice that Willow has gotten this time in the fields with some horses and flowers to rehabilitate herself and learn how to reintegrate herself into the world in a healthy way. And I think that should have been also given to Faith. Okay. Yeah. We'll talk about that more at some other point.
A developing topic.
Summers house.
Xander's wearing a suit, and I'm like, it's so weird how Sunnydale has like demon bars and the espresso pump and a movie house, but no tailor, not a single tailor within the city limits of Sunnydale available to tailor this suit.
Even though I like, how I just like left season 6 screaming about Xander. I just like you can still hear the echoes of it. When he gets out of this car in his suit with his blueprints, I have to say, I feel very nostalgic and I feel a lot of love for him in this moment. It's very sweet. He's all grown up.
Me too. That's why I want him to have a tailor so that his suit looks better. Just fun. As luck would have it, his crew is doing a lot of work on Sunnydale High. How
smart.
Convenient.
This is smart integration, I think it's pretty smart. It doesn't feel like overly stretched, and it's a nice way to get Xander at the school, and it's good.
Yep.
Buffy made some cereal.
How do you make cereal?
You put the box next to the milk.
It's good.
I
saw it on the Food Channel.
Sarah Michelle Gellar, as always, is phenomenal. Her line delivery in many of these scenes, I mean, it's like, she's been in training basically for 6 seasons of delivering lines very quickly and quippily, and she's just like aced the fucking exam with season 7 because she's like in the kitchen. I don't even know. She says like 80,000 things in 2 seconds, and it's hilarious. The core of which is, it's so good that my sister's about to go to the same high school that tried to kill me for 3 years.
So Xander's got the old blueprint and the new blueprint of Sunnydale High, and he does the thing that makes me very happy where he holds them on top of each other against the light, and we can see that the epicenter of the Hellmouth, which was formerly beneath the library, is now under the principal's office. Isn't that interesting?
I don't know why I gave a siren noise. I meant to be like, ooh.
There you go.
Xander
Ghosts
says,
and sirens, distant cousins, but, you know, they have separate functions.
Xander says the last 2 principals were eaten. Who'd even apply for this job as the principal, which it's like I knew that Flutie had been eaten by hyenas and that Snyder had been eaten by the snake mayor, but
you never connected the dots
before. Connected that they were literally, they both died by being eaten.
Oh, yeah.
They give Dawn, this is a really sweet moment, even though we don't learn what the gift is in this moment, because Buffy has waited for Xander to get there so they can give her back to school gift together. Really?
And it's a weapon.
It's a weapon.
We don't see it.
Here we are. Sunnydale High School 2.0, baby.
I know where Buffy's coming from, but if I was Dawn in this episode, I would be so mortified, but then also later ultimately thankful.
Yeah. Dawn is definitely wearing a sweater that she bought at Express. It is so cute. Little pink and white and green checks. And Buffy is, and if anyone out there is a fan who has like a spreadsheet of all of the references to previous episodes that happened throughout this season, send it to us because I'm happy to point them all out, but we'll never catch them all, just like Pokemon.
Pokemon.
How do you say it? Pokemon. Stay away from hyena people. Ding. Lizardy type athletes. Ding. Anyone invisible. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Nice.
We recognize all of those.
Yeah. And Dawn accurately says, Buffy, I don't think I'm going to see anyone invisible.
And then as though from thin air, Principal Wood appears and introduces himself, and there is a hilarious two-way street that occurs in which Buffy says she expected him to be more aged, and he says that she seems pretty young to have such a grown-up daughter.
At first, I got upset.
Everyone.
At first, I got upset with him for saying that because I was like, "How dare you? Like, she could, don't call out like the age that somebody was when they had a kid." But then I realized that Dawn and Buffy are like
4 years apart.
4 years apart. So fair. And yeah, they have this exchange, and Dawn leaves. She heads into school. She's like, "Leave me alone, Mom."
Then Buffy just starts wandering the halls. Why not? I just want to make a note that after 2001, the high school that I had gone to started having like an intercom that you had to like get buzzed in at. Like the doors were locked during the day. It was a closed campus. So it is funny that an adult woman can just be wandering around the halls of this high school.
She took advantage of that like first day chaos.
It's a little chaotic,
just sort of snuck in. But she sees a really suspicious basketball.
Scary basketball.
It's just such a funny choice. It's like they could have, and I'm sure they made it intentionally and I'm just not getting it, but like literally it's just a basketball and she's like, the fuck
She looks at it and she's like,
balls. Is it Riley?
Yeah. She's like, follow that ball. There could be a sweater at the end of it.
She walks past a very ominous sign that says basement. And then we go to this like
basement, no student access. I feel like it either says basement or it says nothing, because the best way to keep kids out of stuff is making it unmarked.
Basement. No student should ever go down here. Students who go down here will be very, very, very in trouble.
Definitely don't go down these stairs to smoke a cigarette between classes or you'll be in trouble. I said don't do that. Hey, what are you doing? Close the door. It's a very long sign.
Oh, that reminds me of Angela Chase and Jordan Catalano in the boiler room, baby. So, okay, there's a lot of like cutting around in Sunnydale High School in this episode. So we're in class with this teacher who seems just lovely. Doesn't this guy seem great?
He seems very nice.
Very nice. He's like, we're all going to introduce ourselves. Everyone's worst fucking nightmare, first of all. No one likes this. And then we go to the bathroom where Buffy is. She's looking in the mirror. Very relatable content. She's saying, this isn't mom hair.
And just as she's confirming for herself that she has hair that is simply in the bloom of youth, and she still actually gets carded all the time, thank you very much, she spies upon the counter next to the sink what appears to be some stuff.
Twigs?
Some twigs, maybe a feather bound together. And she thinks, And then
she thinks, I should pick this up.
Yeah. Ooh, I thought you had been to this school already, ma'am.
Yeah. And then we get a zombie ghost, our first.
Zombie ghost.
You can't protect her. You couldn't protect me. This brings me to my biggest criticism of this episode, and I'm sure that there's a reason for it. But like all of these beautiful, delicious, juicy callbacks, why could we not find 3 actors that had been in season 1 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, or even seasons 1 through 3?
Oh my gosh. Imagine they had gotten the very first guy from the pilot who Darla kills.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm sure that it was the kind of thing where like people are like, Kristen, why didn't you do this in the podcast? And I'm like, do you understand how much
I'm very busy?
Yeah. So like I have space, I have sympathy, but like as a viewer, I just want so badly, because it's the only thing that's like not just fucking perfectly nailed in my
or even just like referring to actual events that we've seen, like if one of them had been mauled by the flying monkeys that Andrew released on the school play, that would have been great.
Yes. Yes, exactly. So I don't know why. I'm sure there's a reason, but I want it. Done. I love to dance. I say it like that. She doesn't say it like that, but that's how Sarah Jessica Parker says it in the movie Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Oh my God. Dawn is absolutely crushing the homeroom introduction.
Yeah.
She's doing a great job. You know who's not doing a great job?
Who?
Buffy. Bursting in the middle of a Dawn crushing it.
Sorry, but you're just going to have to wait a minute, because I'm going to talk about the fact that Dawn says, I love to dance. I love music. I'm very into Britney's early work before she sold out. Beat for a pause. Kristen gets mad. How dare you insult my Britney Spears? And Dawn says, so mostly her finger painting and her macaroni art.
Great.
But okay. Yeah. We can't pass a Britney Spears moment in this podcast.
Sorry, my mistake.
Please continue.
So Dawn's tight 5 is absolutely killing it. All the hard work she's been putting in on the club circuit is clearly paying off. When Buffy bursts in and interrupts her amazing work to embarrass her and crush any potential for her to make friends today.
Dawn, we have to go. It's not safe. And then as she backpedals, I thought you were in danger of smoking. Okay.
And then Buffy excuses herself, and Dawn finishes her self-introduction by saying, I also have a sister. Support for today's episode comes from OneSkin. Did you know that your body starts accumulating senescent cells as early as your 20s? Also called zombie cells. These cells stop producing collagen and hyaluronic acid like they used to, and start secreting an inflammatory substance that makes neighboring cells dysfunctional too. There is an answer for these zombie cells though, and it comes from our friends at OneSkin. OneSkin was founded by an all-woman team of scientists, and is the first and only skin longevity company to target cellular senescence, a key hallmark of aging, with their proprietary OS1 peptide. It's scientifically proven to decrease lines and wrinkles, boost hydration, and help with the thinning skin that often comes with age. And for a limited time, you can try OneSkin and get 15% off using our code BUFFERING when you check out at oneskin.co. I've been using OneSkin's OS1 face and eye topicals for months now, and I have seen undeniable results. My skin feels healthier and brighter. I'm a big fan of their products, and I'm happy to recommend them. OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. By focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. Get started today with 15% off using code BUFFERING at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code BUFFERING. After you purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The heresies of Radolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.
All right, we're at the E-Pump. We are at the E-Pump, that is short for espresso pump, and there is a couple of people playing some live music. They got word from Central Perk that some live guitar playing and light singing would be nice. So Jenny, I was like, who are these two fucking people? Like, where did they come from?
Question.
I did a little digging, and I found out that this is actually a duo called, or a band, I don't know if there's more of them than these two, called Strange Radio. And the reason that this is actually kind of interesting to me is that Strange Radio has another song called Make Me a Star, and that song played at Anya and Xander's engagement party. So
interesting.
That's kind of a fun little nugget to bite on. But other than that, yeah, it's a funny choice, because why don't we just cut, like, was the budget really necessary? We could have just gone to the E-Pump and seen beautiful Callie Rocha and Emma Caulfield here at the table, but to each their own.
Can I tell you a little something about Callie?
Yeah, I might already know it, but you should tell me anyway.
Well, Kristen, you may already know it, but just in case our listeners haven't read the Wikipedia article about this episode, let me tell you that every time you see Callie appear in season 7, don't know how many times that's going to be, but every time you see her, please know that she taped all of her scenes. She filmed all of her scenes in one day. So every time you see her, it was the same day as this being filmed. Yeah, and it's because she was in a production of Noises Off, which is especially exciting to me, a theater nerd. Oh.
She's fucking amazing, Callie Rocha. I hope we're saying her name properly, but like, I mean, she's incredible, and she nails this scene. And this scene is here to essentially let us know that Anya is not as vengeance-y as she once was. They're calling her Miss Soft Serve. Also, Anya's hair is brown. Important.
Yep. Looking good. Miss Soft Serve. Hilarious. Helfrich cites that there have been no deaths, no eviscerations. Sounds like somebody wished their husband was a frog and Anya made them French. She says some rude things about French people.
Yeah, she does.
No thanks.
It also doesn't. It's like, this is how you know there's writers in the room, because Anya's lived for like a bajillion years and has traveled the globe, and like probably would not be saying these ridiculous things about French people.
Yeah, though it does really pair well with her, like her strange I love America patriot capitalist streak.
Hallie's like, you fell in love with Xander, and Anya goes, it was a glitch, a summer thing. Very nice. And then Hallie says some important shit, doesn't she, Jenny?
She says that something ancient is rising and everyone's tail is twitching. And she says, it's a bad time to be a good guy.
What a quote. What a lovely quote.
Interesting. I wonder what's going to happen. Intense.
Oh, and then Hallie gets one last dig before this scene ends, which I just have to give her credit for because she fucking nails it. Anya's like, what is this, an intervention? Shouldn't all my demon friends be here? And Hallie just looks at her and goes, sweetie, they are.
Oh,
burn! I love it, Hallie. I love you. Okay.
I can't remember if I've seen them in a room together. I would say that Clem is one of Anya's demon friends.
That's true. But still, sick burn.
Yeah.
So, Sunnydale High School, Xander and Buffy are chatting about the zombie ghosts, just sort of establishing that that's happening.
Yep. Meanwhile, across campus, the string bean sitting next to Dawn. This is what I'm working with. Girl zombie, janitor zombie, string bean zombie.
Great.
String bean asks for a pencil from Dawn, and when she hands it to him, he suddenly is decaying and tries to stab her in the eye, and she falls to the ground shrieking.
Yeah. And thinks of a great lie. A bee flew in my eye and I'm allergic. This is how you lie,
Dawn Summers,
people.
Extremely resourceful.
Good God.
Don't encourage people to lie, though, Kristen.
Sorry, but if you're gonna, just at least do a good job of it. I also would like to give a special shout out to Dawn's adorable pencil case. And I just want to note something that happens at the end of this scene that's almost like a throwaway, but as Dawn leaves to go to the bathroom, a student says, like, I guess it runs in the family. And because my brain was in such like a season 7, season 1 place, like holding them next to each other, I just thought it was kind of interesting that I think that in season 1 in 1996, the scene would have been written like, guess it runs in the family, like really like rude teenagers being rude about people. And in this thing, even though it's so small, it wasn't. It was like just this dude who was like, I guess it runs in the family. And they were all like, yeah. Like it was like very.
Yeah.
So it's tiny, but I was thinking about it and like thinking about the way that teenagers and high school students are portrayed on screen and like how that may have been changing from 96 to the early aughts and have continued to change. So that's my little thinky thought for you. And now we can go to the next scene.
To the bathroom.
Moaning Myrtle.
Listen. Dawn is sitting on a toilet seat in her clothing. And I'm here to ask, have you ever sat on a toilet seat in your clothing? If you have, we'd love to hear your story. Please dial 1-800-I sat down. What is this? Why are they always doing this on TV?
I sat down.
Or are people just out there in the wild doing this and I'm the only one who doesn't know about it?
I mean, I think that, well, a few things. A, in a personal bathroom or a bathroom where the toilet has a lid, I've definitely sat down on many.
Sure, on the lid. I'm not a,
lidded toilets, but
monster.
But also, like, if you have to go and cry in a bathroom, you can do it standing up or you can do it sitting down. So it's I'm just saying.
I guess a public school bathroom is probably getting cleaned like
you squat
daily. Right. Ghostface, there's no accounting for what Ghostface gets up to in bathroom stalls. Let's not use that as an example. But speaking of crying in bathrooms, Dawn hears some.
Yeah.
Cut to now. My like location-based notes are about to go on a wild lily pad ride because it's like 1 to 2 sentences in the hallway,
place.
in the bathroom, in the hallway, in the bathroom, in England, in the basement, in the hallway, in the basement. It's a lot. So we're back in the hallway, and Buffy runs right into Principal Wood. And I really, really, really love how D.B. Woodside is playing this. He he simultaneously has this like warmth and this like strange distance where you're like, what's going on here? And like he's kind of like poking fun at her, but he also like later asks her to do something serious. I just like love how you have no idea what to make of him. And like we've also just learned that his office is located directly on the Hellmouth, so there's like an added like, what's this guy about?
Yeah, he does a good job because obviously the episode is set up to make us suspect. Is there something going on with the principal? Is there? But the way that he delivers the lines is not to point us in that direction at all. Letting us know that like, probably that's not real, right? Or is it? Or am I being tricked doubly? It's really effective. Back in the bathroom, we meet Kit, who tells us that someone was in here.
Yes, Kit, played by Alexandra Breckenridge, who you might know from American Horror Story.
Nice.
Seasons 1 and 3. She was the young version of the woman in the French maid outfit in season 1, Moira O'Hara.
Okay.
She was also in This Is Us and The Walking Dead. She's been in a lot of stuff.
Nice.
Look at her go.
Back to the hallway. Wood's like, I know more about you than I let on. I think that's the only sentence that we
Then back to the bathroom.
We go back to the bathroom again. Kit's like, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. And Dawn's like, LOL. You must be new in this town
I believe.
because my last name is Summers.
Yeah.
And then this is a great scene. I love this. They look in the mirror. The 3 zombie ghosts are behind them. The lights explode. And then hands come up from the fucking tile floor and pull them down through. It's
a classic.
Chef's kiss. Nice.
Very good.
Nice.
Are you telling me now from this moment until the end of the episode, nobody has to pee? Nobody goes into that bathroom? Is like, there's a huge fucking hole in the floor. I should tell somebody. Nobody.
I'm suspending it. I'm suspending my disbelief.
All right. Back in England.
Ooh, Willow has felt the lights explode in the Sunnydale High School bathroom. Giles is holding her sort of like in the grass. And he says, what just happened? And she's like, it's all connected. Remember, I was telling you earlier, but it's not all good and pure and rootsy.
Yeah.
I just want to say that Allison Hannigan in this scene and in the scene that's sort of kicked the episode off is phenomenal. And the way she's styled is so good. It's like you really get the entire flavor of the fact that Willow has just gone through massive amounts of trauma. She looks like older and not in just like an age way, She just looks like she's been through some shit. And that's a styling thing. And the delivery that Allison Hannigan gives to all these lines. It's really good.
Yeah. She's not wearing like a corset or anything you'd really see at a Renaissance fair. Adds a certain weight to the performance. She says it's all connected. There's deep black. I saw the earth. I saw its teeth. And Giles is like, oh, I know what that is. The hellmouth. And she's like, it's going to open. It's going to swallow us all.
And then the cameraman is like, I'm out of here.
The cameraman's like, I'm going to get the fuck away from those impending teeth.
Just runs backwards all the way through the door into Tony Head's house.
Tony Head's house is probably the safest place you could be, right?
Oh, God. All right. So Kit and Dawn are on the floor. Wood is talking about how he knows about Buffy's.
He says, the school board recommended that I read your record. Why?
Also, Hoomst. All of the principals. There is no school board. Come on. They're all...
No.
They're all gone. But fine. He says that she has a checkered past, and Buffy's like, or like a plaid, or like a houndstooth. I don't know what she lists a bunch of plaid type things. Tartan, right. And now we're in the basement and we meet Carlos.
That's David Zepeda. You may remember him from walking away with the haunted basketball earlier.
I mean, this is, and like just to, I don't have anything super deep to say here, except for we've been at a high school in Southern California for many, many seasons, and we have not seen very many, if any, Latinx students at the high school. So I'm glad that we have a Carlos, but just taking the magnifying glass out to be like, how is Carlos one of the first, if not the first, speaking characters who is Latinx in this Southern California high school? Dawn does a fucking great job again here. She gets right to the point with Carlos. You know, they're like, "Are you dead?" He's like, "What?" And she's like, "Here's the deal. There's some dead people, and now we got to get away from them. So that's what's going on, and now we need to leave." Doing what like so many television characters can never do.
Yeah, picking up the pace.
Carlos explains like he just came downstairs first. I saw the sign; it said no students. So obviously, what that read to me as is smoking down here, this way.
Correct.
He unfortunately is going to give us our patriarchy jingle because he says he ran away like a girl.
No, Carlos.
The patriarchy! So Kit's like, it's not real. And fucking Dawn is like, I learned this lesson. Lesson 1, learned it just last night. It's always...
Another lesson?
It's always real. And then she pulls out that weapon that she was given.
It is the very first Scooby cell phone.
If the apocalypse comes, you may now call her cell phone.
It's true. And Dawn does. She calls Buffy, who's still talking to Wood, and she answers the phone much to Principal Wood's chagrin.
He's like, lady, what are you doing? You're still here.
Get off school property and take your call.
Dog walker. I'm trying to run a school here.
Yeah. She says it's my dog walker and then is like, 3 dead? Loud enough for Wood to hear. And he's like, oh my God.
Wood's like, oh my God. Now I see why nobody else applied for this position. Jesus Christ. It's another really cool shot where they're kind of going around and around and around, which probably isn't the technical name for that shot. The around and... Can you do one of those around shots?
Yeah.
And then Dawn has one last line on the cell phone call, which I have to point out, where she says, isn't the reception amazing?
Yeah, she's so pumped on the reception.
I'm in the basement. And so if you don't mind, listen, it's the season premiere, so it's going to be a little longer than most of our episodes. It's fine. But it made me think about, of course, the infamous Verizon commercials.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Can you hear me now? So I looked that up, and that run of commercials started in 2002 and ran for 9 years until 2011. The actor's name, I don't know if you remember him, Jenny, but his name was Paul Marcarelli. And I just want to tell you 3 facts that I learned.
Hit me.
1, massive in like the marketing and what have you spheres. This dude did these commercials for 9 years for Verizon. His contract ended and then fucking Sprint hired him. Big deal.
Yeah, sneaky. Very sneaky.
And then 2 personal things about his life, which are kind of upsetting from a fame perspective. 1, small, at a wedding he attended, more people lined up for pictures with him than they did with the bride.
Oh,
And 2, this one's real rough. At the funeral of his grandmother, as his grandmother's casket was being lowered into the ground, he heard someone in attendance whisper, "Can you hear me now?"
Oh God!
Fucked up.
People, get your shit together.
Just so fucked up. So anyway, that's my cell phone information. It's just got a lot darker than I'm sure many of you thought it would.
Thank you for letting us know.
You're welcome.
So Buffy hangs up and flits away from Wood, and he calls after her, good luck with that dog tragedy.
Down in the basement, zombies have grabbed Dawn by the throat.
Boo.
Buffy jumps does one of these like flying
this is
jumps.
This is my spot. Bing.
Have hole, will jump, you know?
Yeah. Yes.
And we get some more of this conversation between like the zombie ghost and Buffy, where String Bean is like, I think what I'd like actually is for Dawn to be my girlfriend.
Buffy's like, no, I'm the Summers who dates dead guys.
And then this girl is like, well, you were busy making out with your dead boyfriend. Werewolves tore me apart. What are you referencing, ma'am?
Yeah. Do you have a season and an episode number?
Yeah. So they basically say like, this high school was built on our graves. Just leave.
All right. But Buffy realizes that they are definitely blocking a door deliberately. So she fights them. Pow, pow, pow. They kind of teleport or something. I don't know, whatever. But she finally gets through.
Yeah, they take a couple ticks off the zombie and add a couple on the ghost, and they
But she finally gets through, opens the door, and oh fuck.
First of all, she does a flying jump over their heads, which needs to be
she does.
noted.
Yep.
And then in all caps, do you want to know what my note is?
What is it?
Take a guess.
His roots grew out.
Fucking ding, ding, ding. Spike has roots, is my note.
Yeah, no, this harkens back to a question that we have volleyed about since the dawn of the podcast.
Yeah.
What's up with vampires, like, does their hair grow? Do their nails grow? What's going on?
Yeah, and I got like 1 million emails back then of like, you should just check out season 7, episode 1 because Spike has roots. Spike is looking like fucking 1999 Justin Timberlake in sync in this shit.
Yes, but bad. But rough.
Yeah, I mean,
he's been having a hard time. He's been living in a basement.
Yeah, and
his shirt is open. His chest is cut up. His hair is has not seen peroxide in many a moon.
And Buffy is like Sarah Michelle Gellar again, incredible. Spike, are you real? Like, she's just absolutely in shock about this situation, and Spike just starts laughing. James Marsters, good job with that fucking laugh, man. That's good. He's not doing okay. He says, Buffy, duck. I mean, I know you can't see my eye roll because this is a podcast, but like, Buffy, duck? There's a duck? Dude, come on now. So she gets clanked in the head with a pole that the zombie ghost has, and she like sort of shuts herself into the room that Spike had been in, that he came out of.
Mm-hmm.
Spike says something important. No one comes in here. It's just the three of us.
Eek.
And then he says, this is really, first of all, very, very good performance by James Marsters, and very, very sad. He is very upset, and we are to believe, like we learned at the end of the last episode of the last season, that he got his soul back, and we have some familiarity with what might happen to a vampire who has lived a long vampire life and then gets his soul back.
We've seen a certain broad-shouldered brunette with a long flowing hair, weeping and
eating rats,
darting around in various New York alleyways trying to catch rats.
Yeah. So he's like, I dropped my board in the water and the chalk all ran. So he's like all the way back to like childhood memories.
Yeah.
And then Buffy like is just so concerned. I mean, like, obviously she's concerned, but I just like note it as something that is different than like other types of concern that we see in traumatic moments in this show. Like, they've taken a beat for this, and she is looking at him, and she pulls back his shirt and she sees all these cuts on his chest and says, what did you do? And he says, I tried to cut it out. This is hard, heavy stuff.
Well, I'm just thinking about how it's really interesting that because this is a fantasy horror show and a fantasy horror universe that has different rules from our universe, that sometimes I think, it's not uncommon to think about somebody who you've seen like do terrible things that like really hurt people, and to wish that those people could know what it's like to be on the receiving end of the pain that they've inflicted, right? Or something. And because of the nature of this story, that is within reach, right? Like, the switch has been flicked on Spike, and he is like being destroyed by it. And it's just interesting.
It is. And I think, either between this episode and our next episode, or somewhere very in the near future of your ears, we'll be re-airing in the main feed. I know this isn't precisely what you were talking about, Jenny, but we'll be re-airing in the main feed the conversation that I had with Alba and with Jess Clark, talking about Seeing Red specifically. But I think that there's just... there's a lot of nuance here, right? Spike is back. Spike got his soul. What does it all mean? And specifically, what does it mean that Buffy is moving with care and compassion towards Spike, right? I think that's a really important element of this all too. So I don't think it's a spoiler to say we'll have plenty of time to fucking talk about this, but we're going to have plenty of time to talk about it. So Dawn is like, beep, boop, 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 beep, beep, beep. Phone rings. Buffy answers it. And Buffy's like, they're not ghosts. They're not zombies. And Spike from the corner is like, they're manifested spirits controlled by a talisman raised to seek vengeance. He's like, oh, tale as old as time. He's like, I might be struggling with my new soul, but even I know the answer to this one, buds. And Dawn is like, who is that? And Buffy doesn't say.
But she does tell Dawn, these things can hurt you, but you can hurt them too. So find a weapon. Right.
And then to Spike, she says, I'll get back to you.
Yeah, Spike sort of turns to the wall and is kind of moaning. And Buffy's
all very upsetting.
Buffy's like, I'm just in the middle of something, but I will be back.
Yeah. So Buffy calls Xander. This is hey, cell phones are here now, right? We're seeing things that could not have happened in
pretty exciting
years past. Yeah. She's like, there's a talisman in the bathroom, but you probably know what to do because we've been doing this for years. So Dawn getting her fucking next award. Fucking Carlos finds a couple of bricks. She takes one look at Kit. She's like, Kit, empty your bag. Puts the bricks in Kit's bag and is like, boom,
so good.
Weapon. Yes, Dawn. Yes.
Yes.
Who dare not like the character of Dawn Summers? I challenge you to a duel.
Yeah. It's good. She's doing some real good stuff in this app. Then the friggin' zombie ghosts are back, and Zombie Girl is telling Dawn, we picked the ones that no one will miss.
This is such a throwaway
Fuck
thing.
you.
It's such a throwaway thing. It didn't need to be that. It could have just been that Kit was in the fucking bathroom where the talisman was and Carlos went down to smoke a cigarette. I don't like that they add this, you're the students that nobody would have known went missing.
What?
I don't know. It just seems unnecessary and a bit weak. And, of course it's the Latinx kid and the goth girl who are the students who no one will
and
know
later
is
they have the
missing.
thickest files.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Do a little better, guys. Do a little better. So whatever. Xander goes into the bathroom. He finds the talisman. A zombie jumps on his back. Fucking in the basement, Buffy is playing Whack-A-Zombie with the bag.
Dude, this is another. I love this fight sequence a lot. I don't think we've ever seen anything quite like this before on the show.
No, it's really good.
Imagine doing the fight choreo for this show for even 2 years, let alone for 7 seasons, and just trying to keep it fresh and find new things to do.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
Also, though, Xander is, focused on his mission of collect talisman, destroy talisman. He first is distracted by, you can see his brain calculator going how much can I charge to repair this broken bathroom floor?
I mean, he couldn't have entered into a better profession in this town.
Yeah, true.
Right? It was a smart choice. So the zombie ghosts are, dispelled the moment that he breaks this thing. And
Dawn's like, Buffy, how did you know it was a talisman? And Buffy's like, there's always a talisman.
Of course I knew that. There was not a newly ensouled vampire.
You know how it is.
In the back room who told me that. Oh.
And then she says the real question is who put it there? Kristin, who put it there?
Who put it there, Jenny? Buffy says what we all say when we return to our former high school, middle school, elementary school as she leaves the basement. It seems smaller.
Yeah.
Which is
and
nice.
Then she gives Dawn Kit and Carlos a little pep talk about sticking together and how everything's going to be okay. And I'm like, this is awesome. New Scoobies, the next generation.
I know.
Do we ever see these children again?
You know, I know that we're not supposed to get ahead of ourselves, but we don't. And I actually read a little bit about this, that like, you know, a lot of people watching this season in real time were like so stoked. Like, oh my God, like we have these two new main characters, Carlos and Kit. And like, that would have been so fucking great.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
But no, Kit gives Buffy a hug and Carlos says, "You are the coolest mom ever." Carlos!
Oh, Carlos. Oh, I'm so sorry, Buff.
Wood rolls up on this scene and is like, "Why are you still here,
it's
ma'am?"
Noon. It's noon. And he sort of is like, wow, Kit and Carlos, of course, have the thickest, which you already said, Jenny, the thickest files. Their files are as thick as yours. And now you've got them hugging and socializing and heading to class. How about you have a job here at the school? Well, really? Community outreach.
Yeah, he says the money we could pay you wouldn't even fold. Does that mean there is none?
I know. I was like, wait, if that means you could fold a $1 bill. You could still fold it.
So quarters? She's going to be paid in quarters.
Paid in change. Yeah, he's basically just like, why don't you stick around? She's like, am I going to be a counselor? And he's like, well, that would be silly because you certainly have no license to be a counselor.
Yeah. We already have a real counselor.
But we need a fake counselor.
We need
can you do that?
Young, cool, hip counselor the kids can really rap with.
So then we have one last scene, and it's a doozy.
Oh, man. Buckle up.
This is incredible.
Yeah, it's really sick.
It has to be up there with one of my like favorite moments in the series. Which it's just so tasty.
It's like you think you know, but you really have no idea. You're like, okay, Sunnydale High is back, so we're like back to the beginning. Everybody is like newer, older versions of themselves. They've all been through some stuff. Willow is on the mend. Spike is in disarray. Xander is wearing suits. Dawn's going to high school, whatever. And you're like, okay, wow, it looks like there's a lot that's going to happen this season. And then, you fools!
God.
You fools! Then what happens is Spike is down in the basement talking to himself. And who's talking back to him? Well, first, it's Warren.
Oh, from season 6?
Warren from season 6.
I'm more than that. I'm more than flesh. He's more than something else, though, isn't he?
He's more than blood, but that comes from Glory, who you may remember from season 5.
Season 5? 6 minus 1 equals 5. Okay. Keep going.
But that's not all. Adam can be patient. Buffy's exactly where he wants her.
Do you think that in the writer's room they tried desperately to give Adam the line "mommy," but just couldn't
I was thinking it the whole time.
Figure it out how to work it in. Your hair does not look like the hair of a mummy, said Adam.
Then Mayor Wilkins appears
Season
and says,
3.
"A soul's slipperier than a greased weasel."
So good. He gets the best lines of all. I think the mayor is just, I think, had probably the most wonderfully character specific lines in the series of villains. Because he also says, what'd you think? He's talking to Spike. What'd you think? You'd get your soul back and everything would be Jim Dandy? And then he gets a delicious mayor chuckle in, which we've missed.
Yeah.
Oh, Jenny, what's 3 minus 1?
I think that's 2, which rhymes with Drew, who says you'll always be in the dark with me.
Oh, singing our songs.
And drinking our fruit punch because it's the master who says,
woo!
They're going back to the beginning, not the bang, not the word, the true beginning. And then the master says something that's not just true for Spike and not just true for the residents of Sunnydale, but true for each and every one of us making and listening and participating in this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
The master says, The next few months are going to be quite a ride. And I think we're all going to learn something about ourselves in the process.
Wow.
I'm so excited.
Yep. And then he gives us one last pivot, doesn't he? Pivot.
Yeah, he says,
look at you trying to do what's right. It's not about right. It's not about wrong. Bum, ba-da-bum. It's
Buffy Summers Morph.
Summers. It's about power.
Mike, drop.
Pew, pew,
Hell.
pew, pew. Make your air horn noise. I can't do it.
Oop, oop, oop. It's about power. Who had everybody check your bets? Who had it's about power?
I'd like to play some fucking jingles, okay? Just a couple of jingles here. I would like to play the Drusilla jingle because we saw Drew and her jingle is one of my favorites. And I would like to follow that immediately with the Hellmouth jingle because that's what we just did, counting backwards through the seasons, literally on the Hellmouth. Here you go.
Drusilla, you fill my heart with dread, and still I'm led right back to you.
Wow, Jenny, there's only one jingle I can think to play at this moment.
Sexual attention award.
Well, Kristen, here we are at the top of season 7, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and ready for hot, heaping, fresh doses of sexual tension and the awards that pair with
Jenny,
such a thing. Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but I happen to be the first host of this podcast to ever make it.
Oh my God.
To sexual tension.
Here we go. Look at what you've done to me, people.
Podium.
Look at what you've done.
It's not a big deal, but in case you missed it, I came in third runner-up, me and Anya on roller skates. So I actually know a lot about this segment and all that's entailed as the only one of the two of us who has ever made it to the podium.
All right. I'm very happy for you. And I'll have no choice but to nominate myself in one slot for every episode moving forward in hopes of righting this grievous wrong.
Overruled.
Okay. For today's episode, which is, I mean, there's just like nothing is sexy about this episode. So we're grasping at straws, but in a loving way.
Which is kind of sexy.
In the first slot, I'm already shipping it, and it's just cloaked in mystery and uncertainty. I wonder what's going to happen. It's so wild. It's Buffy and Principal Wood. Hell yes.
Hell yeah.
Hell yes.
Mm-hmm.
The camera went around and around them, Kristen. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, you seem older than a high school student.
Ooh. I'd love to see you around my place of work more often. Okay. Good luck to them. In slot number 2, the noms I have procured for thee. It's Willow and it's Gaia. They've been connecting, Kristen. They've been connecting a lot.
It's true. Everything is connected, Jenny, as a matter of fact.
I know. That's why I'm bringing this to your attention. In slot number 3, my personal fave, it's Tony Head and not leaving his house. Tony Head and getting his way. Tony Head and convenient television filming.
Hell yeah. Poor Callie Rocha had to like fly in for a day. Yeah. And Tony Head was like, no.
Come to me, my children.
No, thank you.
And in slot number 4, something familiar about this pairing. It's Buffy, ? And Power again.
In case you're worried about the future of Sexual Tension Awards, please note that I, Kristin Russo, declared season 7 the horniest of all seasons just yesterday on Twitter. So you know, there's going to be plenty of things for us to chew upon in this segment as the episodes continue.
In the meantime, to cast your vote for this questionable lot, please find our Twitter poll on Twitter at BufferingCast. It'll be live for 1 week from the airing date of this episode. So run, don't walk, go cast your vote. Democracy, la la la. Sexy, sexy democracy. Democracy, but make it sexy. Slots, noms. What more can I do for you people to make this democracy enticingly sexy? Come join us. Thank you.
Could you imagine if we were like, come and find our Twitter poll on Facebook?
All right.
Hey, okay, let's leave this segment.
Sexual attention award.
Well, Jenny, it's the beginning. It's the beginning. We are going all the way back to the beginning.
It's true.
Can't believe we got fruit punch mouth. Man, it's been a long time. I wonder what is going on in this back room of this basement. Mm-hmm. I'm happy to now know that vampires can have their hair grow, though it begs the follow-up question, does their hair only grow when they have a soul reinstated? Is a soul connected to the growth of hair?
Question on everybody's mind, I think.
I mean, think about it. We've got Spike is back. We've got fucking Hallie is here. Anya's hair is brown. It's a bad time to be a good guy. There's a
high school.
The high school's here. There's just a lot. There's a lot to process. But lucky for all of us, there's a podcast where we do exactly just that. We process each episode one at a time. There's going to be a lot to talk about this season. We're already working on some deeper dive episodes because, we dig because we care. Well, I'm Jenny Owen Youngs. Wow.
You know what I mean?
It's lovely to meet you.
And you as well.
Thank you so much.
And when I am not making this podcast, I am often writing and recording songs. You can hear some of those on your favorite streaming platform. I release music under my name, Jenny Owen Youngs, and also with my band, LAXs. And you can give me a shout on Twitter at Jenny Owen Youngs and find me streaming live on Twitch on pretty much a weekly basis. Come on down.
My name is Kristin Russo. And when I'm not talking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer with Jenny Owen Youngs, I'm often doing work with LGBTQ communities. You can learn more about that work on my website, KristinNoeline.com. That's KristinNoeline. And you can use that spelling to find me on Twitter and on Instagram, where I do that work, Buffy work, and also share lots of pictures of my cats. One of my cats now climbs the trees outside, but is also on a leash. So it's fun content for everyone, really. I highly recommend it.
Buffering the Vampire Slayer is on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at BufferingCast. You can drop us an email at bufferingthevampireslayer@gmail.com.
And you can support the work that we do here on our Patreon page, of course. BufferingTheVampireSlayer.com. Just click on Patreon. You can go to our store, which is chock full of new fun things like fucking candles, if they're even still in stock. I mean, who knows? It's been a couple of days since we announced it, but just good shit. There's a lot of good shit over there. So BufferingTheVampireSlayer.com. Click on shop. And you could always rate and review us or just think good thoughts about us.
Oh, yeah. Think good thoughts. This episode was produced by Kristin Russo, Jenny Owen Youngs, and Alba Daza, with support from our consultant, Mackenzie MacDade. It was edited by John Mark Nelson. And, till next time.
Woo!
Under banners gold and burgundy, with values strong and bright, of your virtue and your glory, we will sing with all our might. Till the earth swallows the city walls, you will have our loyalty. Sunnydale, oh Sunnydale, we love thee. As we walk your hallowed goodbye to the class of 99. From the local zoo hiding up into the peak of Kingman's Bluff. We may not live to graduate, but at least you've raised us tough. You've taught us life's worst lesson. It's hard to stay alive. Sunnydale, oh Sunnydale, only the strong survive.
Talmor, Sheshin Marachi. Talmor is my home. My family have worked the land for generations. My gran says the island does not belong to us, but we belong to the island. And we must be ready, for a great evil is coming. And death follows with it.
Listen and subscribe to the latest season of Undertow, The Harrowing, a Storyglass production presented by Realm, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you know what lies within nothing?
No.
Do you know where it ends? Do you want to know?
Yes.
Counterbalance, a high fantasy audio drama. Season 2, coming 15th of October 2023. Learn more on trilunas.com.